We're working on 5.5 in the green Big Ideas Record and Practice journals, and the problems we're looking specifically at are the ones that say write the percent as a fraction or mixed number in simplest form. So number 3, the first thing we got to do is if you have 55%, we have to figure out, well, what does that actually mean? That essentially means we have 55 out of 100. And then what we need to do from there, if we have 55 out of 100, we just need to reduce it down and put it into simplest terms because that's our fraction. 55% means the same as 55 out of 100. If you have 55 over 100, essentially what you need to do is take out a 5 on the top and take out a 5 on the bottom. If you do 55 divided by 5, you get 11. If you do 100 divided by 5, you get 11 over 20. So your fraction would be 11 over 20. Now, we'll talk about this down here for 7 and 8, but if you take your calculator and if you divide the top by the bottom, that's 11 divided by 20, you're going to end up with 55 or 0.55, and that's how you come up with your percent of 55%. For number 4, it's a little more challenging, 140%. You're still going to write it over 100. So you're going to get 140 over 100. Then you need to reduce it down. Remember, if you have a 0 on the top and the 0 on the bottom, you can essentially drop those zeros. How many times does 10 go into 14? 10 goes into 14 once. What's left over? You've got 4 over 10, and we want to write that in simplest terms, and that's going to be 1 and 2/5. 1 and 2/5. If you don't know what I did here with dropping the zeros, essentially that's like dividing by 10 on the top and dividing by 10 on the bottom. It would be improper if you have 14 over 10, so you need to turn it into a mixed number, which would be 1 and 2/5. For this one, if you take your calculator and you do 2 divided by 5, you're going to get 0.4, and then you would just simply bring the 1 down with it. So 1 and 2/5 is the same as 1.4, which is the same as 140%. The last two here, 7 and 8, it says write the fraction or mixed number as a percent. If you have 3 over 4, this goes back to the top part that we did. You're just doing top divided by bottom. That's 3 divided by 4. If you do 3 divided by 4 on your calculator, you're going to get 0.75. 0.75 is the decimal, and then we would have to take and move our decimal 2 places to the left, 2 places to the right, and you're going to get 75%. So in other words, 3/4 is equal to 75%. Number 8 is a little bit more challenging, but still you just need to divide top by bottom. 23 divided by 40. If you type in 23 divided by 40, you're going to get 0.575. That's the decimal for 23 divided by 40. You need to again move your decimal 2 places to the right, and that is your percent. Your percent would be 57.5%. So that is equal to 23 over 40, 57.5%.